Former White House physician and Republican congressional candidate for the 13th District, Ronny Jackson, joins us now to discuss the latest on the president.
Dr. Jackson, thanks so much for joining us. Now, we're told the president has been given an antibody cocktail. Can you tell us more about this treatment and how it might differ from other treatments for COVID-19?
Well, it's something that's been around for a long time, monoclonal antibodies. And so there's several companies. I think there are probably roughly 20 companies that are out there right now that are looking at monoclonal antibody therapy. There are a couple, this company that's producing the one that the president took, and Eli Lilly is another one. They've developed this potential treatment for coronavirus, and they're in the phase 3 trials right now, in the human trials, and they've already gotten past the safety stuff. So they're already getting a lot of good data back from this. This is an antibody. It makes an antibody that basically attacks the spike protein on the virus and essentially just prevents the virus from doing its job. It ties it up so that it can't get into the cells and make the patient sick. And then eventually your body clears the virus and stuff. So it's a very simple mechanism of action. And it's a technology that's been around for a long time. And I think that, it's not the answer. It's not a cure for coronavirus. But what it is a very effective treatment to bridge the gap between, what we have right now and the development of a vaccine. It's also very good for people who can't produce adequate antibody responses, elderly people and things of that nature. So, and if you're in the situation where the president seems to be, where he's got he's early in the course of this disease, you can give this and it can tie it up and it can really reduce the viral load and shorten the course of the illness. And that's what they're trying to do here.
And Dr. Jackson, what does the president's diagnosis tell us about the larger fight against the virus in trying to prevent its spread, especially with this treatment that he's receiving?
Well, I think it tells us, that we've known this for a while, and it's becoming more and more obvious that this virus is incredibly infectious, right? It has a low mortality rate, which is good, very low mortality rate, but it's very infectious. And we know from recent studies that for every one person that we diagnose with this that gets a positive test, there are probably 20 people out there that had it that may not even know they had it, or they may got minor symptoms like the president had, but it wasn't enough to cause them to go see a physician and go to the doctor. So it's very infectious. It's spreading around, and the president, he's in contact with a lot of folks out on the road, and he's the president of the United States, so he's always out doing something. So he's got a higher level of exposure than your average American, and so it doesn't really surprise me that he got it. But I'm also not concerned right now about his health, because I know firsthand that he's in great physical condition. He doesn't have any comorbidities, no cardiac disease, no pulmonary disease, no diabetes. No immunocompromised, none of those kinds of things that would put him at risk. So I think with those things in mind, he should do pretty well with this. I suspect that he will remain relatively asymptomatic, maybe with some minor symptoms like he's been reported to have, over the last 12 hours or so. But I think that he will recover from this quickly and be back to work very soon.
With firsthand knowledge over 3 different administrations of what life is like inside the White House, how might things change now over the next couple of weeks?
Well, things have changed right now with him going out to Walter Reed. But, in the White House, what will happen is only essential personnel will be there in the West Wing and are in and around the Oval Office when the president comes back from Walter Reed for the next, the remainder of his time before he goes back to his normal schedule. And, he's still the president of the United States. He still has a job to do. He's still the leader of the free world. So he has to have certain people around him to do that job, like his chief of staff, his national security advisor, his doctor, his military aide. Those people have to be in his presence. So they'll take extra precautions. They'll wear masks, they'll wash their hands frequently, they'll social distance, but certain people will be around. And that's different than, say, for example, if somebody else who worked in the White House were to, have a positive test, they would be told to go home and stay there until we could be assured that they weren't infectious anymore. But the president is going to be expected to continue to lead our country, and he can do that from the White House. He will do that effectively, and he can do that from Walter Reed. He's about to, go to Walter Reed for further evaluation there, and we set that place up. It's a satellite Oval Office and West Wing, so he can do his job there as well as all of his senior staff members. So he will not drop the ball or miss a beat with regards to his directing our country and being our head of state. It will have a little bit of an impact, obviously, on his campaign for the next few days, but that's the extent of it.
And Dr. Jackson, we're going to switch gears just a little bit. Election day is just over a month away now. Should you pull out the win, how would your life change, do you think?
My life? Well, I think I'm gonna be responsible for representing folks in the 13th congressional district, and I take that responsibility really seriously. So I'm gonna be really busy. I'm gonna be out every day in the district, investing myself in what's going on and trying to figure out what the issues are, what the solutions are, and then going to DC and fixing that. So I think I'm just going to be extremely busy. I'm going to be working on issues, some of them that are going to be new to me, and my learning curve is going to be kind of steep on some issues, but I'm excited about it. And I think I've got the influence, I've got the energy, and I've got the connections to get in there and really make a big change for our district, and that's what I intend to do.
Well, Dr. Jackson, I know we're going to be talking more with you and with your Democratic opponent, Gus Trujillo, as that election draws near. We just want to thank you so much for joining us, for your insight today, and for taking the time.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.